Bellet, Nagora et Conan envoyaient l'équipage de la Tigresse en expédition dans les terres afin de... la navette est encore... la loi de Styrie... Oh là là là. C'est un truc sur un bateau. Allez, regarde le film, c'est bon.
Hello Chappets. Now, I'm not your typical Conan fan. I don't know nothing much about Conan apart from he's a big muscular guy who likes to plough through things with an axe. But I do know that Conan has left a big impression on the world. Because without Conan, there'd be no Sword and the Sorcerer. Or there'd be no Beastmaster. Ooh, how sad would the world be then? And without Conan, Hero Quest would probably never exist. It'll be Lord of the Rings quest with Gimli, Legolas and very young looking Gandalf. Not the same. We want a game with Conan in it. Conan makes this game. A big tank to plough through things. Let's take a look at a real Conan game. This is Conan the board game by Frederick Henry. It's up on Kickstarter right now. It finishes on the February the 11th 2015, so you better be quick if you want to back this project, otherwise look out for it in the future. This is a prototype of the pirate boat scenario that I have, and as I said, prototype, this is just a piece of paper. And all these components won't be in the final game. Some of these components are just replaced to make it easier for me to distinguish characters and bits and pieces. Okay. The scenario and the rules that I'm going to go through again are still in testing phase, so some of them might change from the final product, but what I'll do is I'll now go through the scenario and show you how a round plays and show you how some of the special powers work as well. Right, so here we go. Here's the scenario. Now, apologies beforehand if I muck up people's names. This is the pirate ship which belongs to Bellet. She's over here with her crew, and over here the starboard. No, it's not the starboard. I've mucked up already. We have Conan and his friend Nagora, and they are travelling back from somewhere, and another vessel approaches, and before they know it, they are boarded. This pirate ship here is captained by Zapravu, and he has this evil necromancer over here as well with him helping him, and he's been hired to take out Bellet, who's the queen of the pirates, and he has to do it quickly because there's another fleet of Bellet's friends coming, so he has 8 turns as the Overlord player to kill Bellet, whereas our heroes here, they have 8 turns to try and keep Bellet alive until the fleet arrives. And as you can see, there's a load of pirates on here. You've got 4 different teams. You've got a yellow team, a red team, a pink team, a blue team. You have this team of archers here. And there's also 5 treasure chests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought dice tower cubes would be nice. So that's the scenario. The Overlord needs to kill Bellet. The heroes need to keep Bellet alive. The heroes would start the game. First, they'll get themselves ready. In this scenario, all the heroes start with 4 fatigue. So you put 4 of their designated energy crystals, so 4 of the 11 of Conan and 4 of the 9 for Bellet, will start in the fatigue pile. And then they would decide what they're going to do. They have their starting equipment, and then they'll decide if they want to be active this turn or if they want to be passive this turn. If they are active this turn, they will recuperate some stamina gems from their fatigue pile. So in this case, Conan would recuperate 2. If he decided he wanted to rest, he'd be inactive and he'd be unable to move, attack or manipulate anything. The only thing they'd be able to do is to defend against attacks, but they would recuperate 5 energy, which is a bit of a bonus. The hero players can negotiate between themselves what they're going to do, if they're going to be active or inactive, and they can also decide in what order they want to play. So for instance, Conan could say, oh, I'm going to move here, do an attack, take out some pirates, and then Nagora could say, oh, I'm going to come down here and I'll take out this last one. Or another example is Nagora could go over here, try and open this chest. if he finds a really cool weapon, he could then chuck it to Conan, who could move down here and attack and kill 3 of the 4 pirates. And then Nagora, with some action points left, he could throw his javelin to try and take out the last pirate. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Conan as a plough, and we're going to wipe out this large group of pirates with Conan, because he has the power to cleave, and when he attacks one pirate, any damage which he has left, he can go through to the next. So he moves 2 spaces to get to this group of pirates. Those 2 spaces are free. Any additional ones he'd have to pay energy to use. And then he's going to use 4 energy cubes to attack. Now for each cube that he places in the box, he gains 1 red dice. And the red dice are quite the most powerful dice that there is. He also has his sword with him, which gives him an orange dice, which he can re-roll. He then rolls these dice, and that is his attack. So as you can see, I've got an attack of 6, 7, 8. I do 8 damage. Now the pirates here, the red and the yellow pirates, they each have a shield of 1. So they will absorb 1 damage before using another damage to kill them. So in this case, 8 would wipe them all out easily. 1 point of damage, defended. 2nd point of damage, kills. 3rd point of damage, defended. 4th point of damage, kills, etc, etc. That was unless the Overlord player wanted to defend. If he wanted to defend, he would use one of his energy to put into the defense, and then he'd roll a dice in defense. And obviously that would be subtracted from the attack, so 3 of these would get killed and 1 would live. Now Bellet is going to try and wipe out this group of pirates over here. Now she has 2 free movements, so she moves 1, 2 to move to the same space as them. And then her leadership ability lets her control all her guards. And for each energy she uses on her guards, she can activate them. So move it and attack. So she spends 5 to move them all 2 spaces into the same area as the pirates. Now as you can see, it's a bit cramped in there. And if, for instance, not all the characters can fit in that space, then they obviously can't go in that space. So they'd have to attack from the space next to. But in this case, at the moment, all of these bases fit in there perfectly. And now they can all attack. Now Bellet also has the power of a leader. So any of her characters that she controls in the same space as her have the benefit of a free reroll. Each of the guards would attack individually. So the first one rolls a 2, which would kill one of the pirates, unless the Overlord wanted to defend. Second one would attack. He has a 1. He's going to re-roll. He still gets a 1, so he misses. Third one attacks. Etc, etc. Okay, Nagora decides that he wants to try and open one of these chests and be able to find an item which he could give to one of his buddies. Now, he could just go to this chest here and open this one, but line of sight would prevent him from throwing that useful item to Conan. Line of sight is done with these little white dots, which you can probably just barely see. And if you can draw a line between 2 dots and there's no obstacles in the way, then you can shoot, kill, chuck, whatever into that space. But if that line of sight is blocked by an object like this mast here, you would not be able to attack this yellow pirate, or would not be able to throw any weapons or potions at Conan there. So he's going to move 2 spaces to that chest there. Now he has 3 free movement points, and because he's stopping moving now, he loses the extra 1 that he has free. So if he wants to move again, he'll have to pay energy. He's now going to decide to try and open this chest. Now, when he manipulates something, he uses an orange dice, and an orange dice has a pretty good success rate, and he needs 2 successes to open this chest. So he's going to use 1 energy to roll 1 orange dice, and he has a 1 in 3 chance of rolling a 2. So we're going to roll, and we get a 0, which is great. Now he could try and manipulate again, and he could spend up to another 3 energy to manipulate to try and open this chest. but he's going to decide to just use 1 energy on the reroll box, which means he can just reroll this dice and hopefully nothing happens. So what he's going to do is he's going to leave the chest and he's going to try and attack with his javelin. He's going to try and take out one of these red pirates here to try and help out Bellet a bit. So his javelin has an automatic attack of 1 red dice, and then for doing a ranged attack he could put up to 5 energy in his ranged attack box if he wishes, and for each gem he puts in there he gets 1 orange dice, so he can put 2 in there, because the result you have will match the distance. So to hit a red pirate I need to get 1, 2, 3. It's 3 spaces away. I have clear line of sight. There's only some stairs going down, so I need at least a 3 or more to reach my target, and that is pulled off elegantly there. So the javelin is thrown 3 spaces. 3 is greater than his shield and takes out a life point, and his javelin is resting in that space. So if he wants to go and pick up his javelin, he'll have to walk all the way over there to go and pick it up. Again, that red pirate would die unless the Overlord decided that he wanted to defend for him, but he's not going to. The heroes then decide that they're not going to do any more actions and they're going to pass. What you do then is all the energy you spent goes into your fatigue boxes, like so. Also, the Overlord, any energy he spent will go into his fatigue box. And then it's the Overlord's turn. Here is the Overlord's control panel. He has all his forces and figures lined up in order. He has his actions that he can do. He can do extra moving, extra defense, and rerolls. He has his energy, which he recuperates 5 each time at the beginning of his turn, and he also keeps track of what round we're on. Now, on his turn, he's going to decide to move his archers. He would move his pirates because they cost him a value of 1 energy cube, but he's only got 1 left on the board, and that would be kind of and the yellow ones as well, there's only 1 of those left on the board. So he's going to use his archers, and he's going to use 2 energy. He takes the tile out, and let's have a closer look at this. What you have is you have your archers can move 2 spaces. They have a shield of 1, and when they shoot they can roll 2 yellow dice, and they can re-roll both of those dice, and they have a value of 1 to be respawned. They also have this special power up the top here, which is a precise shot. Now basically any damage that they do on a player, the first point goes through their armor, so they will automatically get damaged. So my green archers are activated. They can move 2 spaces, so in this case these guys move 1, 2 to there, and these guys move 1 to there. They then all decide that they're all going to attack Conan. Now for attacking they roll 2 yellow dice, and they can both have a reroll. So this one shoots first. He needs at least 2 to get across the water. 1, 2. But he only rolls a 1, so he can re-roll 1. And he gets 2. So his arrow reaches Conan and will automatically do 1 point of damage and get through his armor. So what does Conan do? Well, he's got this leather armor, which will automatically give him 1 dice to roll in defense, which is a yellow one. Or he could use some energy to put into his defense and activate a defense dice. So what's he going to do? He's going to take 1 energy, no more than 1. He could put 2 or 3, but he's going to put 1, which will give him an orange dice as well. Also activating the defense means that he activates his sword's defense, which is 1 yellow dice as well, which he can re-roll. Let's see what we get. We get 1. We get a reroll on a yellow dice, which gives a result of 1. Now, as I said, that tier precise means that 1 damage will automatically get through that and eliminate it. So it means that Conan takes 2 points of damage. So what's he going to do? Well, he loses 2 energy into his lost box. And then the second one attacks. He gets 0. He can reroll both his dice. He gets a 1, which means that it just falls into the water. And then you move on to the third one and the fourth one. So now all the archers are finished with. This tile gets placed at the back and slides everything across. and everything then becomes a little bit more cheaper, although to use the archers again immediately would be very expensive. As an Overlord, you only have 2 activations per turn, so my second activation will be for this eventment tile, which will cost me 5 energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just like Sesame Street, isn't it? So this eventment tile has 3 different things that you can do, and I will start with the bottom one. The bottom one is an invocation. I can summon a dark demon, and then it just comes on the board and kills lots of things. What do these dark demons look like? Wow. Here's one image. You have this kind of Lugaroo werewolf thing. He's quite strong. He has 3 red dice for attack. He has 3 defense, and he can move 3 spaces. This green symbol here means he's a blocker. So if you're in the same space as him, you cannot leave that space. This symbol here means that he is unlucky. You are cursed. You cannot do any rerolls if you're in the same space as him either. The second dark demon is this flying dark demon. He's not as strong, but he can move a lot more further. He's also a flying creature, which means that he can ignore walls and things like that, and he is uncatchable. So even if your character is a blocker, this guy can get away from you. Now if I was to invoke this dark demon, what would happen is I would choose which one I want and then place him in the space of the eventment card, and the eventment card would be removed. The summoned creature would be placed next to the necromancer, and he would be very expensive to activate on the first turn. The second power here is a cloud of arrows. So basically all your archers will have an extra shot. And then the one at the top here, the respawn, I can respawn 6 points worth of my creatures, monsters, minions, whatever. So I'm going to do that. That eventment tile goes there, and what will happen is I can get 6 points. Now I lost 3 red pirates and 3 yellow pirates, and each of them cost 1 point to respawn. So I can respawn all 6 of these in one go and put them on the board. And these respawned pirates would come up from below decks and arrive there, ready to attack our friend. After the Overlord is finished, he just advances the round tracker. And that's how a game turn works. The heroes will use whatever energy they want against the Overlord, and then the Overlord will use 2 units and energy that he wants against the heroes. Sounds simple, doesn't it? And the game looks simple and it looks clean because there's not lots of cards and text everywhere. But simple it is not, because it is a real deep strategy game. There's the strategy of how you use your energy and at what time to use the energy. And then there's the strategy of where you're positioned, because certain areas will give you different benefits. But there's another level of strategy which I haven't mentioned that, and that is weight. Every item has a weight value. Okay, so like this battle axe is 3 and this chainmail is 3 as well. Each hero has a limit that they can carry, so Conan can carry 12 maximum in weight and Bellet can carry 9 maximum in weight. And the more you carry, the more of a hindrance it will have. So you can't just plow through the dungeons, collect all the treasures and sell it afterwards, because it's not practical for you or your hero. So, for example, if Conan was carrying more than 8 in weight, he would lose 1 of his free movement points. If he carried more than 10, he'd lose both his free movement points, which means that every movement would cost him energy. Then you have your powers here, and I'll go through some of these. At 6, if you carry more than 6, Conan cannot swim. So if he was to fall into the sea, he would drown. At 8, he can no longer jump. At 9, he can no longer climb. At 11, he can no longer break through walls. And at 12, he can no longer cleave his way through bunches of monsters. Ooh. So you have to think about what weapons you're going to carry, what weapons you're not going to have, what weapons you're going to pass on to your friends if you find something in a chest. Thing is, sometimes you can't even throw some of these weapons. If it weighs more than 4, it cannot be thrown. So if you find a super cool weapon and it weighs 4, you can't chuck it to Conan if he's 2 spaces away because the weapon is too heavy to chuck. Now, let's talk about some of these special powers and how they work. Right, we're going to talk about jumping and swimming, the 2 blue ones there. Okay, Conan wants to jump across to here and take out these guys because his cleave ability lets him do that. First, he needs to have the movement points to traverse the spaces, so 1-2 spaces away. He's also in an area where there's 1 pirate, so he has to pay 1 movement point to evade that pirate. So it would cost him 1, 2, 3 to get away and land successfully there. But a jump requires a roll of a red dice, and you need at least a success of 1 to traverse that hole. So you roll the dice, I got a 3, he successfully makes it, so he costs 3 movement and a roll of a dice. If, for instance, Conan was in this space and he wanted to get to here, there is no pirate in this space, so he wouldn't have to evade, and the distance is 1, 2. But the thing is, the distance here is a bit larger than here. So he'd need a success roll of 2 or more to make that jump. 2 movement points, success of 2. If he was there and he wanted to jump directly to the captain here, he would need 1, 2, 3 movement points, and he'd need a success of 3 to make that jump successfully. If he failed, he would fall directly into the water. And now obviously if he's carrying more than 8 in weight, he cannot jump, so he'd be bound to the boat. If he was carrying 7 in weight with weapons and armour, if he fell into the water, he would immediately drown and die. Swimming is really simply figured out. It's basically 2 movement points to move 1 space. 2 movement points to move 1 space. To climb onto a boat, you can either climb on from the front, and that would cost 2 movement points, or the back of the boat in either of those areas. But beware of the shark. One of Belet's powers is from beyond the grave, the red one there, which meant that if the Overlord killed her on that turn, Belet could roll 3 red dice, and the damage done by that would attack the monster that attacked her, and hopefully kill them. So it's an attack from beyond the grave. Another power, which is given to her by her guards, is sacrifice, which basically means if she's in a space with one of her guards and the Overlord decides to attack Belet, one of her guards can take the damage instead of her. Nagora, apart from his precise shot, which negates 1 armor, he has this bodyguard power. Basically, if Conan here was being attacked by a pirate, Nagora, he could defend for him, rolling defense dice, but obviously using energy. Zaporavo has this special ability here, Riposte, which means that whenever he's attacked, he can immediately have a free attack with 1 red dice. How cool is that? And the Necromancer will have powers much like this. He'll be able to cast a shield, a halo, which will cost him 2 energy, but it'll give him an extra 1 in defense. He'll also be able to drain energy from heroes that are 3 spaces away and in line of sight. He will make them be able to move 2 of their energy from their reserve into their fatigue. And that he is also unlucky, malchance, which means that players cannot re-roll if they're in the same space as him. So that's one of the scenarios from Conan the board game, which uses the pirate ship map. Now, if you'd like to see more, I've made 2 other videos. One is an introduction to the Pitish Village, and the other one's a playthrough of the Pitish Village. And if you have any questions about anything, just leave something in the comment box below. If you want to check out the Kickstarter, hurry up. This Kickstarter is ending on the 11th of February 2015. So be quick, click the link below now. If you'd like to know more about the game, you can go to Board Game Geek and look at it under the name Conan. Or if you want to go and check out Monolith, you can go to their Facebook page, Conan by Monolith, and check them out there. That's it from me. End credits.
Hello, good evening. Could you tell me your name, please?
Yes, my name is Adam.
And can you tell me what other films you have been in?
Oh yes, well I've been in the Princess of Italia, and I've also been in the film The Secrets of Castle Grayskull.
And what is that in your arms?
This? This is Cringer, he's my dearest friend.
Okay, now tell me why you think you deserve the role of Conan.
Well, you see, a fabulous secret was revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic
Next!
sword.
Next!